Hello class, welcome back. So for this Show Me, it is all about muscle contraction and my horrible attempts at drawing and animating that out. But that's the point. When you draw it and you do it yourself, that's when the real learning happens. You can watch as many videos as you want of fancy actin and myosin, calcium and troponin and tropomyosin all interplaying together. But if you can draw it out yourself, that's when you learn it. Okay, we're going to talk about muscle contraction, which can be very complex with a lot of steps, but we'll try to break it down. We have the end of an alpha motor neuron here, which has vesicles containing neurotransmitters called acetylcholine. These vesicles get released, and the acetylcholine binds to the muscle membrane at receptors on the surface. This depolarizes the membrane, which is connected to the sarcoplasmic reticulum, which is a specialized endoplasmic reticulum of the muscle cell. That surface, or sarcolemma, here is connected by what are called T-tubules down here, which are connected to the sarcoplasmic reticulum. Now, I'm not drawing it well here, but as you can hopefully see here, the sarcoplasmic reticulum, which spreads across the muscle cell and the muscle fibers, is a storage of calcium. Now, the T-tubules are transverse tubules here, which I guess sort of look like a T of sorts here. Over there, and there are more T-tubules over here, right? When that depolarization signal spreads, calcium starts spreading throughout the muscle. Now, that muscle containing the sarcoplasmic reticulum and calcium, that sarcoplasmic reticulum covers the muscle fibers. So you can imagine a whole bunch of muscle fibers represented by thick filaments and thin filaments. Now, when we look at those in detail, we find out there is what's called a Z-line right there, which holds the thin filaments, or the actin, together, and thick filaments in between, called myosin, which have little myosin heads. And these myosin heads bind to the actin and pull or slide the actin closer to each other. And looking at this under the microscope, the myosin, which are thicker or dark bands, form what is called the A band. So just think of A in the word dark. Being the myosin segment. The I band, which is right here, think of that as the light band, or the letter I in light, and that is composed of only actin. If you imagine another cell next to it with actin going in the other direction, the I band will begin on this side, followed by the beginnings of the A band that way. Finally, we have an H zone, which only contains the dark myosin, and there is a band that connects them, which is called the M band right there. So we have Z, I, A, H, and the M. Now, when calcium comes along, what happens? So we have the myosin thick filament, which contains myosin heads and tails, and actin, thin filaments, which have this type of appearance. And this is where the myosin head binds to the axon, and then the myosin head bends like that, pulling the actin along. Now, how does that happen? Well, the actin is actually rather complex. The actin has binding sites for the myosin heads, which are actually covered by a molecule called troponin at various areas along the myosin. That troponin is actually attached to a molecule that strings them together here called tropomyosin. So when calcium comes along here, it binds to the troponin here, which then moves the tropomyosin molecule out of the way. So you can imagine this perhaps moving down out here like this. That then exposes the myosin head binding site on actin, so a myosin head can come in and bind directly to the actin. Now at rest, the myosin is already ready to go, so to speak, or loaded. ATP comes in, gets hydrolyzed to ADP and 1-phosphate. When that binding site gets exposed, the myosin head can bind to the actin, a conformational change occurs, and phosphate gets released. That brings on the so-called power stroke, where you recall this myosin is already loaded, ready to go, and it's wanting to spring this way and pull that actin. That pulling stroke then releases the ADP. So first we have phosphate that gets released, second we have ADP that gets released, and that myosin head and tail goes from this situation to that situation. And what happens is when it's attached to the actin then slides and the muscle contracts. Now that myosin head over here bound to the actin will stay that way until a new ATP molecule comes in to free that myosin. The ATP then gets hydrolyzed to a DP and a phosphate, which allows that myosin head to return back to its original resting state, getting ready for another contraction.